Get to the questions that I'm sure you all want to know, and that's gaming and B&B related questions. So first off, where did I get the name Fools from? And my first gamer tag. So I'll start with my first gamer tag. My first name. So on my Xbox 360, the first ever Xbox 360 I had, was not connected to the internet. So we didn't really get a gamer tag. We could name the account, but we didn't actually have a gamer tag to go online. So my first ever gamer tag, that I went full online with, was on my Xbox One. There was one for 360, but for some reason I forgot the password, so I couldn't actually get into it. So I don't really count that. But the first name I had, there was something about fucking Zeus I loved. I loved all that god shit. So my name was Immortal Zeus. Yes. Blame 13-year-old me. Blame 13-year-old me for having a name like Immortal Zeus. Then, how I got the name Fools. So, at school, there was always fucking chess club. And then there was a few days where it was pouring rain. And there was not a lot of undercover parts. So me and the boys used to go into the library, instead of out near the Oval and stuff like that. Go chill in the library, talk shit, and then one of us just grabbed a chessboard, and then we just started playing chess. I knew how to play chess, and I liked chess. And I was trying to think of names for ages because I couldn't be running Immortal Zeus going on 19 years old. So I had to think of a new name. I was looking song names, game names, and then it came to me. I like the name Fool's Mate, which you obviously can tell by my Xbox name and my gamer tag. In my Fortnite name is Fool's Mate. Because if you don't know, in chess, Fool's Mate is when you win a game of chess in 2 moves. So you hit him with a Fool's Mate. And I love that. I thought that was really sick. And that's where you see my logo on YouTube and Twitter. Not Twitter, sorry. YouTube and Twitch. It's that icon, and I made that in a study period in year 12. Anyway, then it became Fool's Finesse. If you know what a Fool's Finesse is, you know for anyone who knows what a Fool's Finesse is, you don't want to be hit by a Fool's Finesse. For the people who have been hit by a Fool's Finesse, they don't want to get hit by it again. Anyway, the person who came up with that name was my boy Secret. He sometimes floats in and out of B&B every now and then, says hello, and then leaves again. He was one of the original people, part of the team. And I just remember one of his comments when after something happened, and he's like, "Fuck, you've just been Fool's Finessed," and I loved it. Thought it was great, so took it and ran with it. So I thank Secret for giving me the idea for that name. Next question is, why do I wear a hat every stream? I don't have to, and my hair is getting pretty long. Which some of you might have saw from Twitter. That I posted pictures accidentally too. I was just drunk. I wasn't supposed to post them to Twitter, but I did, thinking it was Instagram. I'm not going to tell you my Instagram, but if you can work it out, then good luck. But anyway, so yeah, my hair's getting pretty long, but I wear the hat because last year I got a blocked ear, a build-up of earwax in one of my ears, and I think we determined that it was from wearing headphones too much. So wearing the hat, even though you probably can't tell, the the part of the hat here keeps the pressure of the headphones a bit looser on my head. That's the honest truth. That's why I wear a hat every game. Because, it reduces the pressure around my ears. So that, there you go. That's a fact for you. That's why I wear a hat. What is my favorite part of streaming? My favorite part of streaming is 100% doing viewing parties, interacting with chat, and just building up that community, having fun, you know? Alright, next question. Probably a lot of you have been wondering this, if you've been in the com for a while, is how I met Wally. I'm obviously Australian. He's obviously New Zealand. And so how did we meet? Funnily enough, I haven't been playing comp for that long. Well, actually, I have been. But I stopped playing and just was playing pubs with IRLs for a while. Then it came to the Marvel season, Chapter 2, Season 4, and I'm like, I think I want to give comp a go. Even though I knew I wasn't that good, wanted to give it a go. And so I didn't even know what Scano was, didn't know how to get into any of the scrim chords. So I found a kid from OCE Fortnite, that Discord, and he asked if I wanted to play some arena because I need to get to champs. And I'm like, yeah, sure. So we play, and it turns out he's a really nice kid. A lot nicer than most of the kids in BMB, no offense, but he is. And he introduced me to a friend group which had Wally, Navy, Wally and Navy were the main two, and then Zytec, he joined in a bit as well. If you know their names, you're an OG. But yeah, like, none of us were like tremendously good at the game. I was obviously the weakest. But then obviously I added Wally because we wanted to like 3v3 because it was trios obviously. And then Wally kept inviting me back for arena, and we just kept talking, kept vibing, and our friendship kept growing. And then he had his OG Wally's World, not the Wally's World now, we had the OG Wally's World, where he sort of did what he did now, but just with like a lot less people. And then that community grew to like 40-50 people that we used to just game with. And yeah, so that's how I met Wally. And yeah, all because I found the right kid on Fortnite OCE is why I know Wally, and I'm real thankful for that, for what we've done since. And that leads into the great question of what made you start BMB, and did Wally ask you to make it with him? So originally, if you do not know this, BMB was a team. Wally went to me on one fateful day and says, do you want to make a gaming team with me? I think I'm going to call it Razor. And I'm like, no, terrible name. Come back when you have a good name. The words were very similar to that, and I know Wally can confirm it himself. I said, I'm not being a part of it if that name's staying like that. Anyway, so, and that leads into the question, how did we get the name Bambusa, which BMB is abbreviated to? So, funnily enough, I'm laying in bed, because it's like 1 o'clock. I've been back at work because this sort of ended like the first major hit Victoria had of COVID in like start of early December. Laying in bed, and we're throwing names at each other. Literally, we probably named like 200 different words, and I don't know where it came from, but I remember seeing like it was like a pause. I think I remember I asked a question, or Wally asked a question, and it was a pause. Like we didn't know what to call it. I went onto Facebook, and obviously I'm a pretty big fan of WWE, and I don't know what it was for, or what was the video about, but there was an old wrestler who passed away ages ago, but his name was Bam Bam Bigelow. None of you probably know who he is, so that's why I need to Google him for you. Anyway, This is him. Yep, that's Bam Bam Bigelow. Anyway, I saw a video on Facebook about him. And I'm like, Bam. Bam sounds really cool as an abbreviation. Like, imagine Bam Wally, Bam Fools. But obviously, you can't just call it Bam Esports. So now I said, I like the abbreviation BAM. And now we're throwing names that start with BAM at each other. And I say bamboozle. And then what's the next word that comes after bamboozle? And then it's bamboo. And then I'm like, fuck, I really like this BAM. So I literally Google words starting with BAM. And what's on that list? Bamboosa. And I message it to him. And I'm like, imagine like a crowd, like imagine we get big and we're on like a live stage. And imagine us winning like an event. And you just hear the fucking commentator yell like, Bamboosa. Like, that's pretty cool. And he's like, oh, not too sure. But I'm like, nah, trust me, stick with it. We'll run with it. So originally our abbreviation was BAM, B-A-M. But then eventually, well, he's like, how about BMB? Sounds cool, has nice ring to it. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I really liked BAM, but BMB, in my opinion, was just as cool. So that's how we got our name, BMB. And originally the team was just like, oh, we've got a few good players in our like 50-man friend group. Probably more like 30 at this stage, but like, why don't we just make a team, pay everyone like $10 and just rep our name anyway. So our first ever signing was Hellboy. He was our first player for our team. He was signed on like December 20th or something like that, but he was our first ever player. Yeah, that he which I find pretty cool because he's still around today. And a lot of people would know Hellboy. And yeah, anyway, our team grew. We picked up people like our next like major key was Kiz. We signed Kiz before all the shit went down. And to be honest, I feel bad for Kiz with all that stuff because I don't believe any of it's true. But Kiz is genuinely a nice guy. And from there, we just sort of took off, really. Got a couple more people in management that were willing to pay money. And by the end of, like, before console closed, we had the best, on paper, we had the best roster. And then how we got to the Scrimcord. Scrimcord was never in our idea. One of our ideas was actually to run, like, money scrims through Skano. That was, I'm pretty sure Wally and Demented have some DMs about possibly running games or partnering with Skano with our team. But then that just sort of just stopped happening. And then all this shit happened with Cold Block when he left Skano. I don't know the full story, and I don't think a lot of people know the full story. But anyway, we used that advantage. And we got him bought. So it's a free agent bot developer who makes scoring bots. So we're like, yo, what are your thoughts on making a Scrimcord? And Cold Luck's like, sure. So now, this is on the same day, Elusive, the team owned by Wonka, merged into BMB. On the same day that happened, we opened our Scrimcord. And within a week, we had 1,300 members running games, full lobby, every game. And then console closed, and we were like, gave it a go. It was a good run. And then, well, he sold the first cord for $50, and then it got nuked 3 hours later. So then we waited like 2 weeks. Things like settled down. PCS, remember PCS? They ran games. Then I think they scammed. I don't know the whole story. Anyway, we kept getting Wally and I kept getting oh, bring back BMB. So we did. It sat at about 400 members for 3 months, and then they announced Console Cup. Sorry about lighting. The sun's just decided to come out. So yeah, so we brought back the cord and ran nothing. It was just sort of like a cord for the boys, really. It was like 400 people just talking shit, really. That was it. And then they announced Console Cup, and we just kept growing from there. And we just kept growing, and now we're at like 4,600 members in what I can still consider dead console. What made you a part of BMB? Sort of what I just said. It was just sort of like a yeah, why not? See how it goes. Did not expect it to take off this well, and it's all about preparation. A lot of these new kids who come in, try and start a team, try and start a scrim cord, don't realize how much effort me and Wally actually put into this. They don't realize how much effort it takes to run one, and how much shit you have to put up with every single day. I get messages like, I'm on break at work, 1 a.m, break at work, just checking Discord just to see messages, and like 4 kids message me, scrims suck today. Can I have full send roll? And it's like, I don't like turning off my DMs, honest, because it's like, I believe, and I can help some people out, but that's why we do have a support team, so you don't always have to message me if you need assistance. And that's the one thing. It's like, if I'm at work, don't bother me. If I don't respond to your DM, don't get heartbroken. I'm probably doing something, and don't DM me yo. If you actually message your problem or like something like what's happening, instead of just asking yo or adding me, there's more of a chance I'll respond. And don't ask me for like roles unless you're paying for prior or VIP. How many people have I banned and who was the first? I won't name names. I know I've banned a lot of people, but you have to hear me out. Some people I just don't have time for anymore. I deal with a lot of like dumbasses at work, dealing with drunk people, and then on my free days off, I have to deal with dumbass kids annoying me as well. So it's like, I can't be bothered. I'm in control of this Discord. Don't annoy me. End of story. I know the first person. I don't know the original first person, but I know the first person. Won't name them because they don't deserve to be named. But they copped an 18-month suspension. And then a perm ban after I gave them a second chance. And they screwed me over again. So, no second chances. If you fuck me over. Best people I've met in the com. Obviously Wally, and the guy Blakey, who I met from OCE. He's not in the com anymore, but again, one of the nicest people I ever meet. Kiz, the amount of calls we vibed in January, just talking shit for hours. Obviously, all the support staff, all the staff team. That's why they're staff. That's why I like them. But then there's the people I play with usually. Seki, Riz, Hellboy, Reds, Multi, Had, Multi's good mate Hunter. Shout out to Hunter, one of the funniest people I've met. Faith. There's a lot of good people. A lot of people I know I would have forgot to mention, but you know who you are. If you've played with me, and played multiple times, most of the time you'll be in that category. So if I missed you, I'm very sorry. Most disliked person in the com. I don't want to name people, man. Like, that's tough. But at the moment, unfortunately, it's probably unsolved. Seems like on his day he can be an alright kid, but some of them clips lately, they've been pretty funny. Biggest ego in the com. Everyone knows who this is, but it's a deserved ego, in my opinion. It's 100%. The biggest ego is 100% Badger, but it's deserved. As he'd say, it's not an ego. It's confidence. It's knowing you're the best. And when you've won the amount of shit he has, over 20 odd grand in the game, I think, and in console, I think you can do whatever you want, really. So I think it's a deserved ego, but I think Badger. First ever support. I think it's technically secret, but I don't think he was a support. I think he started off as like admin. First, I know Spirit. Spirit was an OG support. Sia was an OG support. So it's just like, look what happens. You stick with it, stick tough, keep following. Like you do eventually climb the ladder. Favorite BMB member is Hunter Uso in there now. I'd probably say Hunter. What's the staff team like in your opinion? In my opinion, I think the staff team does very well. They do the job. Not many people like it, but they do the job. Who is better, Fools or Wally? I know Wally's a grinder, so I'd probably say him. But on my day, my SMG aim's on point. It's ready to go. But then again, if the SMG aim for Wally is on point as well. But so yeah, I'll probably say Wally, because he's the grinder. Oh, okay. Who's winning console cash cup and why? It's hard to go. It's going to be the most generic answer ever, but it has to be Fisher and Brendan. They're the most default answer possible. They won the last one in trios. They lost the PlayStation Cup duos by 2. Pardon me. They've lost duos by 2 points. If they're not default winners, then yeah, I'd probably say them. But don't be surprised. Like I said ages ago, is if a younger, unknown team wins. A team that no one expects to wins. Sort of like the last PlayStation Cup. If anyone said they would win PlayStation Cup, Mooney and Alez, or whatever their names are, I'd guarantee none of you'd say I thought they would win. Possibly make money, but I don't think anyone would say they would win. So don't be surprised if a team like that comes up out on Console Cup and wins that. What other games besides Fort do you enjoy playing and favorite all time? I enjoy playing FIFA, as I'm, like I said before, a massive sports fan. Yu-Gi-Oh, as you would tell from yesterday's stream, Yu-Gi-Oh was also very fun to play. But then, funnest games ever, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. As you can probably tell from other Assassin's Creed statues, I'm a pretty big Assassin's Creed fan. The newer ones, sort of, nah. But Assassin's Creed Black Flag, yes. Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor. The amount of hours I have on Skyrim. Spec Ops The Line was like a 2012 game. It's like a desert army game. Very, very good. That's my opinion. They're them games. Probably recommend playing any of them. Mad Max game, also very good. Oh, then Devour. Devour was so good playing with Rax, Duke and Bluncy. Fortunately, Rax sold his PC. So when the new map of Devour comes out, we might have to pick up someone, possibly Sizzler, and run it. But yeah, Devour, very fun. For however much we paid, I think it was $7. Very fun. If you want to watch them videos, they're all on the Twitter. Actually, my bad. They're all on the YouTube. What was your first ever favorite deck in Yu-Gi-Oh? TV show wise, I've always loved Seto Kaiba. His Blue Eyes is. But I'm a massive GX fan. I love GX. I love the heroes, as you would tell from my hero decks in Master Duel. Love when Jaden goes evil. But then, like, the gimmick decks. A lot of people don't like the gimmick decks. I love the gimmick decks. Like, all the cards relate to each other. And it's great. But my favorite deck, I'd probably say the Cyber Dragons. The Cyber Dragons are so fun. Zane's deck. Cyber End Dragon. Very cool. My cards, though. My first ever card, you probably wouldn't know them. But it was Machina Force. So I had Machina Sniper, Machina Soldier, Commander Covington, Machina Defender, and then they all linked up and made Machina Force. In game, that'd be very hard to make. In a real life, was very hard to make. But they were my cards. I also had the Ancient Gear cards, like Ancient Gear Golem, and cards like that. So I'd probably say them. They're the cards I have IRL. In game, 100% the heroes. I love the heroes. So much fun. Back to Fortnite. When did I start playing Fortnite? I started playing Fortnite a week and a half after release on console. My brother told me to try and play it. Said, oh, it's PUBG with building. And I'm like, nah. But then mates from school said, oh, you should hop on. We'll run trios before trios. So 3-man squads. The first ever drop spot I landed was the prison next to Moisty Mile. The OG prison. In season 1, before like Tomato Town and shit was named. Favorite weapon all time? Stinger SMG. I'm just kidding. Favorite weapon? The original combat shotgun. But then the charge shotgun. I really like the charge. Triple burst. When the AUG, the burst AR was the triple burst. Very, very fun. And the Kaboombo. TNT's Kaboombo. Also very fun. Oh, we're forgetting the one that I asked for. Every single season. I ask for shield bubbles every single season. Just give us shield bubbles. The game needs more defensive weapons and items. Give us shield bubbles. That's my opinion. There's too much aggression in the game. So how do you counter aggression? There needs to be more defensive items. Yes, I like the addition of the metal walls, but it's sort of like you just get sprayed from another angle, and now you've blocked yourself in from people who can just take you off from somewhere else. Shield bubble, on the other hand, you get lobby folks, you get headshot sniped. Shield bubble it, no one can shoot through it unless they push into the shield bubble, and no one's pushing off a mountain 60 meters into a shield bubble. But then you can use the shield bubble in an offensive way as well. You headshot snipe someone, you can throw a shield bubble on them and box fight them with no third party opportunity unless they push into the shield bubble. I think it's probably the best item you could put into a meta like this, with the amount of spray and beaming that happens. Just my opinion. Please listen to me. Favorite skin? Alright, I think you all know what this is at the moment. The man. It's not the man. This is the best emote in the game, plus the best skin in the game. Actually, this is an underrated one as well. It's called Their Backlash. If you ever see another person using this in-game, I'll be very surprised. If you see this in-game, it will most likely be me. Rarest skin, though. I don't have a lot of rare skins. I've got like a few season 3 ones. But rarest, this is pretty rare. I don't remember seeing this in the shop very much. Forgotten skins. This is pretty rare. Even though it comes back every like Christmas, I don't ever see anyone using that. Probably the rarest skin I have hasn't been in the store for like 700 days, and it's this skin. It's like came out in season 4. And yeah, I don't think it's actually been in the shop for 700 days. My favorite drop spot all time, like we'll say comp wise, was the desert racetrack. Some called it Gus because it was spelled Gus on the racetrack. That, in my opinion, that was my main duo spot. And then up behind the volcano, there was like a little campsite where ballers and then hoverboards spawned, and heaps of metal. Them two spots were probably my two favorite spots in the game. What else have we got? I'm trying to think. Rickety Rig though was very good as well. I liked Rickety Rig. My first ever duo partner. This goes back to World Cup days. He's my best mate in school. His gamer tag was TZ or TZ Desire. We tried qualifying for World Cup, both 60. Grinded that game heaps. Obviously didn't qual, but we had our fun. He moved on. He still plays FIFA and stuff now, but yeah, no, them times I always reminisce about them times because they were generally fun. Me and him playing practically 5, 6, 7 hours every day. But yeah, no, shout out. His name is now Pootis. For the people who know Pootis, he does a lot of PC stuff now. But yeah, shout out to Poot, who also did just get engaged to his girlfriend, who have been together for what? Since 2015. So congratulations, Poot. Shout out to you, bro. Have I ever met up with someone online? Once, accidentally. I'm not going to name who it is. But obviously they found out, they heard where I worked. They weren't weird. And they jokingly said, "Oh yeah, I'll come down. Like we've been talking for a bit." And it's like, "Oh yeah, I'll come down." And so, do you know when people say that? No, they never ever turn up. Well, he turned up, and it was quiet, luckily. And I stood behind the bar for 2.5 hours talking to this guy. We had some good chats. Well, that's probably the one and only online encounter. Thinking about it is pretty weird, but it's what it is. I've had a question in. What is my best purchase I've ever made? It's the king himself. There you go. That's what we'll end it on. We'll end it on the Mighty House Baller. Thanks for tuning in. I had fun doing this. It's not often you get to just talk about yourself. I thank everyone who sent in the questions. I'll hopefully get this up on YouTube pretty soon. And yeah, let me know if you want to do more like just chatting shit. Had fun with this. And yeah, I'll thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you all guys in the next one.